we're here today. We're going to talk about the Lightning Network and gaming. And we had some really fun stuff to talk about. I felt like at BitBlock Boom, me and Nate got to catch up a little bit, and we just went down a bunch of rabbit holes of what Lightning opens up. And I just wanted to sit down further and talk and just kind of hear, from you. I know at Zebedee, you guys did a raise this year, and you're a very crafty and creative individual just from board gaming and gaming. And yeah, I don't really have too much scheduled. I just think slowing down and like talking through this stuff and just hearing your mind is like a valuable thing. So, we can kick it off wherever we'd like, but give us maybe like a state of gaming and Lightning right now just to kick it off.
Sure. So I can tell you a little history about what Zebedee. So I'll do like a quick little prelim, which is I run a couple teams at Zebedee on the engineering side of things, and we've been around for almost 3 years. Our first focus was mobile games and first person shooters. And we've kind of been focusing mainly on supporting game studios trying to do things in the mobile arena. We haven't really seen a ton of traction yet on the like any kind of like console or PC kind of gaming yet. It's mainly the main traction has been in the mobile kind of realm, Android, iPhone. Um, so yeah, that's kind of like the state of things right now. What I'm seeing is something called hyper casual games are seem to be picking up steam, and that seems to be a lot of the use case at the moment. Now there is like a large breadth of use cases, and Zebedee has a couple different product lines per se. Like we have our API generic for developers to use. We like to work with game studios that want to have interesting use cases and stuff, and we like to support those people. But we also like a B2C, like straight to the consumer kind of idea, where the prior was more like business to consumers, like more of a BBC kind of idea, and our straight to consumer kind of product is our streamer app. If you're on Twitch or something like this is like the idea where you can instantly accept lightning payments on your streams. So we're going into a couple different verticals. That's kind of where we're at. But yeah, like if you want to talk about like what hyper quote unquote hyper casual gaming is, and that's like something that's a little new to me. One example of this is
Yeah.
something called Bitcoin Miner. That's the name of the
I was
game.
gonna I was gonna ask you about that. Those kind of like lazy tap to play and like passive games where when you log back in the next day, like you're still earning, but not as much as if you were actively playing it. Like those seem to be tremendously popular.
Yeah, and I personally I like to play some of them to know like what's going on. It's a very like kind of non-addictive kind of Tamagotchi kind of style where um, it seems like the revenue model that's working is every so often you can watch an ad either to boost some things or they'll just feed you an ad, and they're essentially giving X% back of that ad revenue back to you through Bitcoin. So if they're making $1 off of ad revenue, you might get, yeah, I don't know, I'm just going to throw something out there randomly, 10 to 20 cents of Bitcoin off of that. But um, the idea is like, hey, man, this is future money. So like tens of thousands of sats and hundreds of sats is like, oh, that's a lot. So I think they're definitely, it's a little bit of unit bias here with the idea like you have a lot of sats and being thrown around, and it's kind of cool. Definitely a little bit of a dopamine hit, when you get some sats from these games, even if you're only getting like 50 or 100 at a time, it's still kind of cool. Um, yeah, I mean there's a couple. The other shout out to like Thunder Games and stuff. They're like a independent studio that's doing other kinds of games. They have like 4 games right now, I believe. They're pretty fun. And I wouldn't necessarily call those like hyper casual games, but um, I don't know, some a game that you can pick up and play and put down. I don't know what the like for instance like a Bitcoin bounce would be considered. I'm not sure if that would be considered hyper casual or what, but kind of like a skill based
Yeah.
mini games is how I see it. You know,
It's like
Yeah.
active casual.
it's like actually what?
Active casual. Like I got 5 minutes to kill, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I could play like a game of chess, or I could get try to get a high score on Turbo 84 Bitcoin balance kind of idea. You know, I guess yeah. The other like I guess there's like a brick breaker game, right? There's a bunch of games that Zebedee supports. There's different ones that Thunder games, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, the idea is you get fed a couple ads here and there, and they don't go broke giving you Bitcoin because they're making, a lot of it back on the ad revenue. So that's kind of like the business model right now, at least.
Yeah, I've in the past, I'll admit, like, whenever I go on like planes or a few years ago, I kind of got roped into some of those mobile games, like, and trying to understand just how they worked and like the fascination. And I spent a fair amount on a mobile game once before, like, whenever I just had a lot of excess money before Bitcoin, and I was kind of blown away at how addicting and how easily just how easy it is to spend. And I know I've read like data. I think the average game's like $60 or whatever, right? But whenever you buy like Call of Duty or whatever, and all these expansions, like people end up spending like two, three, $400. So we're actually spending way more per game, which I know is um, just really interesting compared to like games when we were kids, where you just paid a flat price and either played online or just played single player. But for me, I've always loved the idea of like earning quite a bit. And I know in some of these like games we're talking about now, you don't win a ton of sats. In the future, they might be worth a lot. But I'm actually really curious, like, you know, paying and putting up an ante to kind of like, the word's not gamble. You're not gambling to play. I'm sure there's like a better word, but I'm really interested in that market developing, like being able to play like Apex Legends or Fortnite or whatever, and like put up some sats to like just kind of clean up shop. Has there been demand for that at all, or what's the state of just good gamers being able to earn Bitcoin in that fashion?
Yeah, the only thing I can think of to speak to that um, is our Counter-Strike implementation. So the idea that, you might spend 10,000 sats to enter the game. Every time you die, you'll lose some sats. Every time you kill someone, you'll earn some sats. Or we even have like a survival mode where when you kill someone, they actually drop sats and you have to go physically pick them up so people can like camp the the sats on the map. So if you try to go pick them up, they can kill you, kind of idea. Those that's the closest to what I've seen. Now, in terms of demand for that, um, you'll have like quote unquote elite, players be able to clean up a lot of noobs that just want to play. So there is like this kind of like balance of, hey, if I pay 10,000 sats to enter a game, are these pros just going to clean house with me? Like, am I even going to stand a chance against these guys, or, stuff like that? Um, the other interesting thing is when you involve money so directly into these games, especially the first person shooters, the cheating, aim bots and what have you, become more menacing, because now instead of just them cheating and winning a game, they're actually winning money. So the lengths that we've gone to prevent cheating is kind of cool. Like this was something I wasn't really familiar with, like how to prevent um, first person shooter cheating. And we have like a whole review system, and we have a whole like automatic screen capture. If the cursor does something weird, we can detect it. Like there's a lot of real interesting things to catch cheating, because every single movement that the client side sends out to the server is recorded for a certain period of time, so we can capture all those suspicious kind of behaviors and ban people before they can exploit us, at least too much. So that's been kind of interesting to see that. I know that's not really what you asked, but I'm just kind of running down the landscape here a little bit. But yeah, I would say um, I'm a little bit, devolved or not really involved with you know, the demand side, like the biz dev stuff. Um, but I do know like we have a lot of stuff in the pipeline right now. So we do have a lot of demand for people that aren't trying to like bypass, I guess you can say, like KYC, the law and stuff like that. Like Zebedee is very like compliant, if that makes sense. Like we're like trying to do things to partner with like AAA game studios, and that's why people are like working with us instead of like small kind of like I guess you could say people are saying, hey, you can use a smart contract and be, off the grid kind of like these game studios are looking for like a compliant, like, Bitcoin kind of cool solution, and that's kind of what we're providing. So the demand is kind of like a little bit complex because these game studios want to do stuff with quote unquote crypto, but they don't want to like put themselves in like a liability situation or tarnish their reputation. And I really feel like Zebedee is like a nice solution for a lot of these people in terms of doing stuff the right way with Bitcoin, in their games.
Yeah, as far as like the AAA game studios, I think you framed that up really well. Like, you guys are taking a more like an approach that's really focused on just aligning with like where the market and these like uh, bigger companies like need to be just in line with like laws. Like, what are some of these AAA companies saying and thinking about Bitcoin? Like, what are their reservations? Like, what type of hurdles as an industry maybe do we need to overcome, and just how are they viewing this at this point, this early on?
We get a lot of good feedback. I think the funny part is a lot of them are kind of like surprised that we're going about things quote unquote on the up and up, because a lot of these AAA game studios have obviously met with other people and other crypto people, like your ETH, Solana kind of smart contracty kind of stuff that are like Ponzi's essentially, and it's almost like they feel like it's a breath of fresh air when it's like, oh wait, you're just doing this and then it's money, and then okay, you're not trying to money launder. Oh, okay, cool. Like it's a lot of pretty positive feedback. Um, I'm not sure what you asked a second, like where are we at? Like what's the next? What was the second part? Or
Yeah, like, I just envision like if the Nintendo Switch or like Xbox just had natively the ability to have sats and you could just throw 2000 sats on there and then interact, like how that would just unfold. I know they're not there yet. We're pretty far out just because of adoption, but is that something that could be done pretty quick, or are they open to it, or are they just waiting for someone to make the move first? Like how would you
Bobby,
describe that?
are you talking like you're playing a game and you want like a different skin on your character, so you're gonna, instead of like putting in your credit card for it to be $5, it's just like boom lightning, or you have
Sure.
like a little lightning wallet built into it, and you just
Yeah, sure.
like
Yeah, like
that
kind of
seems
like
that seems like a good use case in my opinion. But yeah,
the
Yeah, I
the
think
main
that the skins are huge, but also like Rocket League, it's like, hey, throw in 1,000 sats, join this big pool of tournament, and end up earning. Like, I guess it could be
yeah,
used really in any way.
Yeah, the biggest barrier there is the walled gardens. So, for instance, a lot of platforms have walled gardens like Google, Apple, Xbox, Microsoft, all this. Like, they have like these ideas where you have to use their system when you pay. Um, and if you use like an outside system that's like seen as like competition kind of idea, like you're trying to thwart and bypass their payment system. So it does get a little tricky there. So to be honest, in terms of like seamless solutions that don't require, to compete with these walled gardens, it usually involves the players actually getting paid out, not the other way around, not where they're paying. But I am pretty bullish on the idea of web games that don't really have to, you know, have these issues of being monopolized by a single kind of payment method, taking off where payments go both ways into the game and out of the game. Um, we have to get a little creative, and we're coming up with really interesting solutions on actually working with these quote unquote walled gardens to then have players be able to pay, but it would essentially be where they're, the companies are still taking their cut. You know what I mean? So if like they're charging 30% or 20% or whatever it might be, not trying to bypass that, but having the companies also get their cut, which is kind of unfortunate. But in terms of like, foregoing that or, not having to deal with that, I'm pretty bullish on web games, native web games that don't really require the Apple, Google, Microsoft,
Publishers.
PlayStation kind of, yeah, the monopolies, yeah.
Yeah, so someone who's like maybe in college learning game dev, they can build like some cool proof of concept games and utilize the Zebedee like APIs and stuff and LN address and everything and kind of like play around with it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kind of takes me back to like middle school or high school whenever you'd get your computer time and I would play like I think they were flash games, I can't remember, but just in browser games and they were a fun way to burn through time and I could totally see those having a resurgence if there was a way to like earn sats through advertisements or something like that. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, Flash. Speaking of Flash, Flash is pretty much dead. But
Java, baby.
well, Flash used to be like the bee's knees, right, for games and stuff back when we're in school, I guess, playing
That
games.
was
But
Adobe, right? I think it was Adobe.
yeah, but nowadays, what I'm seeing in terms of web-based games, like as substitutes to Flash, I'm seeing like a lot of like RPG Maker, RenPy. These are different various platforms that you can use to create web games that are pretty much let you just have a web browser. Bam, you can start playing a web game. Um, Also, something I'm personally very interested in is the I wouldn't be doing a service if I didn't show Rust. Rust and WASM kind of libraries like Bevy, which I'm actually personally working on. 2 weeks trademark. It's obviously super behind schedule. But I'm working on like a web based WebAssembly game, which, like I said, I'm very bullish on the future of WebAssembly with video gaming and stuff, and the idea where you can just say, hey, look, screw the Play Store, screw the Apple Store, screw all these things that are like hindering people from doing my things. Here's the progressive web app. You can just play it right on your browser, and then download the progressive web app that would then just launch the browser. So I don't know if that's really gonna be easy for a lot of people. I'm kind of like I'm kind of I'm thinking people will figure this out, and I'm thinking WebAssembly is gonna help bridge that gap and be that solution for a lot of game devs. At least this is my hope. These are my hopes and dreams right now. So I'm gonna try to make it a reality.
Bam. Uh, can Bobby, if you don't mind, can we talk a little bit about the Zebedee wallet and Lightning address? I know you guys were like one of the first to implement that into a mobile app. How has the reception been in the app and everything? What's your opinion of Lightning address after using it for so long?
Yeah, Lightning Address it's kind of cool that so the CTO of Zebedee, Andre, one of the founders, and I would also give some credit here to Fiat Joff. I was very, I would say, oops, sorry about that. I would so where was I? Lightning Address. Yeah, so kudos to Andre, and I would give some amount of credit. I'm not sure what the ratio is to Fiat Joff as well, and then almost no credit to myself, even though I listened. I listened with learning eyes as they were pitching this kind of stuff internally. But um, yeah, I think it's really cool. It's awesome to be part of a company that developed I guess you could say a protocol, and that's being used by many companies now at this point. And if you're not using Lightning Address, I guess my question is now at this point, why not? Because it's seems to be very like just a wrapper, a wrapper around LNURL kind of ideas, and just makes it simple. The only thing that I think might cause concern for some people is it looks like an email address, and obviously if that's not a real email address, you're gonna potentially get some weird, like, hey, like, is this an email address or a payment address? But you know email addresses are also kind of like a protocol, so just we're using one not for email. I forget like what the specific kind of like URI kind of idea of that schema where you do like the host at something.
Yeah.
I forget what that is actually called, but yeah, Lightning address is pretty awesome. You can pay people just by knowing like a at username, something like this. We also have. Let me check my Twitter profile. So right now, if you have a Zebedee account, and if you have the Zebedee plugin, if you have a lightning bolt in your Twitter description with your lightning address, which I have, then if you use a Zebedee plugin on your browser, it will actually allow you to send payments to people via that lightning address automatically. So you can like tip their tweets and stuff. So if you ever wonder, or if you ever see someone on Twitter and their profile, I'm looking at mine right now, has like a lightning bolt with a username at, and then their address, that is a way that you can tip people when you have the plugin enabled. Now the cool part is if you download the Zebedee app, and we're no longer, by the way, calling it the Zebedee wallet because it's going to be like multi-purpose. But if you download the Zebedee app, you automatically get a Lightning address static payment method. So you would be able to go to zbd.gg/your username, and that's a QR code that you can put anywhere to get tipped, and it'll automatically go to your Zebedee account. So yeah, it's kind of like a cool thing that we're trying to push and promote. It's just and again, it just piggybacks off of the LNURL. If yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, if anyone goes to like a conference or something where you guys are at, you have those usually hand out those little piece of paper like vouchers, right? And you scan it with your Zebedee app,
Did I
and
leave
you
you all
can
speechless or
what's that? But like that kind of stuff, right? Because like
maybe
LN
my
address
microphone is messed up.
empowers.
Maybe I should leave and come back. I don't know.
Oh, can you not hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I guess Mike has to come back.
Okay.
I was like, what the heck? Uh, womp womp. It's just us, Bobby. So how's the gaming?
It's
Oh
going
wait,
good.
yeah, I think it's back.
There he is.
More people should be listening to this. I think this is like important stuff. Because Lightning address is so cool because you can use like LN bits and stuff to make those like vouchers and put them on NFC tags. You do all kinds of stuff. Print them out and hand them to people, like what Zebedee does at the conferences and stuff. Mike, you good?
Yeah, I'm good now. I don't know, man. Twitter Spaces, bro.
Yeah, that's cool. I was just talking about how it was really cool how you guys sort of demo how LN URL withdrawal works with the those like paper QR codes like you gave out at TabConf last year and stuff.
Yeah, we'll probably have more of those this year for people trying to pick up a few thousand sats here and there. I don't know what our voucher amount's going to be. I'm guessing probably in the low thousands. I don't know.
That'd be great.
I think we're doing like 10,000 sat vouchers at one point. I don't know.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's like $1 per voucher, but I don't know what we're doing this year.
Gotcha. And like the last thing is the that I kind of wanted to mention was I helped Andre and those guys beta test the streamer because I do that stuff because I'm a big gamer and I really think it's an awesome uh, little thing. And when folks come in and they're like, "What the heck is that?" and you sort of tell them about Bitcoin a little bit, it's pretty fun. But I really am excited to see sort of that maybe blow up a little bit. I know you don't really have, I don't think, too much to do with that specific product. I would just love to see Zebedee like sponsor a streamer or something and like force them to use it so that all their like viewers and stuff have to like ask what the hell is that. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually, you made me ask this question internally, by the way.
Are we talking about my rant in Nashville?
Yeah, so I actually asked internally because I didn't know, and the plan is for us to be promoting this a little bit more as we move forward. But I guess we're just not trying to be too hasty with it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. I mean, it works, you know. And yeah, I think it's a great way to like market, right? So if like you have some streamer who has a couple hundred people watching, they all get exposed to it. You know, they can have descriptions in the about me that sent you over to Zebedee, so now they can get a tag, they can start doing it. Um, I really like that idea.
That's awesome, man. Your feedback is critical. So whatever feedback you have, I will make sure to bring it to the forefront.
Sounds good. Yeah, I just yeah, I'm excited for you guys. You guys are like my favorite company. I love all your stuff, but I don't want to blow up too much air. But I really like it.
My favorite company is Voltage, so
Yeah, man.
This is
We're gonna
why
have a good time next month.
I really like the idea of a user getting filthy rich off of Zebedee games and then saying, "Holy shit, Zebedee is custodial, you know, in this aspect. I need a Lightning node to withdraw this stuff. Oh, there's this company Voltage. Okay, bam.
Yes.
Spin
You know,
Voltage
one of the
node,
things I
withdraw
actually really
my stats."
dude, actually, believe it or not, like there's a couple sort of apps slash wallets out there that use Lightning address. I won't name them, but I've used them. But they don't let you withdraw to a traditional Bolt 11 invoice. But the Zebedee one does. So that was kind of like why that's usually my go-to for Lightning address stuff because I can then pay a Bolt 11 invoice from it. I don't know why that's not on more apps, but I think
You're
that
saying
was
you're
a
saying
good
that
idea.
there's some wallets that only support Lightning address and don't support
Yeah.
Bolt 11.
Yeah, we can talk about those behind the scenes later. I don't want to throw shade on it.
Shows you what I know. I didn't even know there was a wallet that does that. So it just I'm like so out of the loop. Like it's getting like it used to be in like 2015, 16. You could know everything that was going on in Bitcoin. Like literally, you could know everything that was going on in Bitcoin. If you spent about an hour a day figuring out what was going on in Bitcoin. Then about I don't know 2018, 19, you there was not enough time in the day to keep up with everything that was going on in Bitcoin. And then now I feel like we're getting to the point where you cannot keep up with everything that's going on with Lightning, which is like a subsect
Exactly.
of Bitcoin. So it's like um, I think in the future, you know, uh, you're gonna. I mean, it's really like what is a Bitcoin developer? I mean, I think like a lot of the core devs, some of them really have never messed with Lightning too deeply. Like they obviously maybe used it and know about it, but like I like, and this is outside my expertise, but I would imagine even with Bitcoin Core, you have to choose what you want to focus on, you know, and that's what kind of Brink does in terms of like their focus and what other you focus like oh yeah the mempool management or whatever like transactions or I don't know it's interesting.
I know exactly what you mean. I have like my core sources for information, but there's no way I can learn everything or know about everything, know about like things that even exist, right? Thankfully, Bobby actually helps me with that. I don't know how Bobby does it, but Bobby's shown me some really cool companies and stuff that are coming out.
I think like the trick is just have like a really good breadth of knowledge in the Bitcoin space, so you kind of know a little bit about everything that's going on, and then you just pick like two things to like specialize on. Um, just I don't know. That's kind of my take on it.
Makes sense, Bobby. You do good over there? Is it starting to rain yet?
Yeah, it's pouring. I keep getting texts from friends where there's like trees in the middle of the road, but we're hanging in there where we are, so in good shape. But yeah, I think to your point, Michael, there's a tremendous amount of stuff going on. I love seeing Lightning Labs email that they send out like every month and a half or so. I think that Ryan Gentry puts together. There's always at least 20 things in there I completely missed over the last 60 days, and it's such a good resource and like case in point to what you were saying. There's just so much going on, and just the diversity and interest out there. Like Ben Ark building some cool hardware stuff. I always love following what he's doing, and the gaming that's going on, and just uh, you know the creative ways to manage a node, and just like what we're working on to like make Lightning nodes, just to allow users of Lightning nodes to have better decision making. It's silly to see, like, I was in Reddit this morning, people were saying Lightning is a failed experiment, it's going nowhere, it's never worked, and I'm just like, knowing what I know, and I think knowing what you guys know, it's just like I just think that's the silliest statement. Like people don't want to just move their Bitcoin around a bunch. They want to either hold it or like lightly spend it on small things. But I think there's a ton of things happening, and it's just silly to say that it's failed, like with everything that's going on. So I think there's a big gap that needs to be closed in the mind of just people in crypto, and then ultimately the consumer, for this to really take off.
Depending on what people want out of Lightning or the goals, I mean, anything can fail. Bitcoin has failed certain people, right? Lightning has failed certain people. It's all about expectations and goals. So, regardless of whether people think it's failed or not, it's here to stay. Whether it's called Lightning or some other kind of layer two solution, I mean, people are looking to, make new user experiences and new use cases, and right now, if we want to keep the block small and things decentralized, we're looking for creative solutions to not jeopardize the current security model of Bitcoin. And we're seeing a lot of really interesting layer two stuff, and there could be more layer two stuff in the future. And I think it's interesting if someone wants to set their expectations and goals on anything to be the solution for their whole life, then everything's going to be a failure, right? So um, yeah, that's my feedback about
It's
this random person.
it's really weird how sometimes you hear people like talk about low time preference, and then it's like they get pissed because Lightning's been around for 3 years and their payments are failing. It's like, yo, what happened to low time preference? Let's go.
Yeah,
I get it though.
low time preference. Bobby, did you make a bomb shelter, hurricane shelter basement for yourself?
There's not really a lot of basements in the South, but we're in a rickety Airbnb from the 50s that was remodeled, and yeah, no water leaking yet, so that's good. I do have some video games hooked up though. I've actually been playing a lot of Thunder Games Solitaire. Like, I'm it's going to be embarrassing. This is going to be on the record, but I've never beaten a game of solitaire. I've never really paid attention and like understood it or cared to understand it, but I picked that app up, and within 10 minutes it was like the easiest game I've ever played, and it was super fun to just like try to speed through playing. So let it be known.
So all you needed was some financial incentive to of very small amounts to get you pumped up on solitaire to actually learn it finally.
Yeah, and now it's a blast. Like, I play it every night before bed because I'm like whipping through games in like less than like 4 minutes, just because they make it so easy to like burn through them.
So, is there any big announcements? Anything coming out this year from you guys, or are you planning on Like I know you. I mean, we just had a big funding round, partners, all this stuff. Are you guys excited to be launching anything anytime soon?
I will say this, and I hope Andre doesn't get mad at me, but we will be making maybe I'll caveat like this. We might be making a huge announcement at TabConf.
Nice.
You like how I phrased that? May,
Yeah.
might, just I'm covering
Hey,
myself
I
with
didn't
the
ask for specifics. I just asked, should we start getting a little bit pumped up for something?
I think the next 2 years um, are going to be filled with announcements from like every Bitcoin Lightning company. Um, there's just so
Yeah.
much opportunity and so much cool stuff going on behind the scenes that I'm pretty sure like every company. I mean, it's kind of hard not to be bullish on humanity. If you work at like a really like cool company that's actually like building stuff for the future, it's kind of hard. And like there's other people also doing this. It's like gives you a lot of faith. It makes you happy. Uh, you're like, we're not actually doomed here. We're builders.
It's a good feeling, honestly, and it's because I don't know. Whenever I think that we're on the cutting edge of the cutting edge, I think that's pretty true because we know that this stuff like really disrupts a lot of traditional ways that the world operates right now. It's just the people don't know it yet, and we just got to keep building it, and the people will come. That's my belief anyway.
Yeah, I was listening to a video, like a 10-minute breakdown yesterday of the Sovereign Individual, or excuse me, the Fourth Turning um, book. And right now, it's like Elon Musk is the second generation. We're the third, and the fourth are like the creatives and the musicians and whatnot. And like in this third generation that we're in, we're creating a lot of these solutions and like parallel functions. And the next generation, these younger kids that adopt Bitcoin and use this and integrate it into these new forms of society, they're going to be the ones that really get the adoption happening. And that's what's happening right now, over the next 3 to 4 years, which is going to make it a standard. So I think it's just really about keeping the head down. Like, it's cool just being in Bitcoin and watching it over the last year now that I'm full time in it. It's the people that are building their head down. Like, we talk about this all the time. They're not on Twitter where all the noise is and on Reddit ranting like content creators and influencers are. They're building, and the people that are avid internet users who are the loudmouths, they're typically the ones that once it becomes a usable standard and it's understood, they spread it like a virus through the internet and it gets adopted. So it's a matter of being patient. Like you said earlier, low time preference. Like, let it unfold, let it be built. And yeah, I think you're spot on, Michael. These next few years, there's going to be an insane amount of announcements, especially with the capital flowing into the industry.
Hell yeah.
But we were gonna do a Q&A. If anyone wants to raise their hand and jump up, I mean, feel free to just come and chat for the last few minutes. And if there's not too much more to chat about, we don't have to stay all the way till the top of the hour. But feel free to raise your hand. Michael, anything else that's on your mind, man, that you haven't shared or you just want to cover as well before we wrap it up here for the day?
Uh, just excited to see everyone at TabConf, which is pretty much a builders conference, or to ramp people up that are new, or to have education for people who already know everything. There will be even something there for them. Other than that, would like to shill that I'm using non-fluoride toothpaste now. So the next step of every Bitcoiner's journey is to focus on health, whether that's going on an all meat diet or removing harsh chemicals from your mouth. So
Yeah, to tack onto that, when you go to a restaurant, do not be afraid to ask them to cook your meat in butter. That's what I learned from Mike in Nashville.
yeah, I do that quite a bit. Whether they actually do it or not, I think it's a coin flip, but at least I'm there trying. I've also today has been my first day cooking with tallow. tallow, beef fat.
Yeah.
I've
It's
never done that
great.
before. Today's the first day I did that, and it was really good.
It's crazy cheap. It lasts a long time, and yeah, it's like way more affordable than butter, and it's even healthier, which is amazing.
I don't know. I prefer ghee personally, but tallow's good too.
I also bought ghee yesterday. I just have not used it yet. So
It
I'll give
melts
you
super fast.
I'll give you my feedback on that.
For me, the flavor of the ghee was invasive to whatever I was cooking. Like I could taste it alongside whatever I was cooking, which is why I prefer tallow. It's very mild. You almost don't taste it compared to like ghee would be very like strong. Butter in the middle, you can taste butter, but tallow, you literally to me, I can't taste it at all. So it really like allows the food to pronounce itself.
Organic butter, when I put it in the pan and cook with it, it looks like this yellow, liquidy, bubbly, hot stuff. And when I cooked with tallow, it melts clear, which I was not expecting.
Yeah. You know what? This just I have to make a plug. Taco Bell and Mountain Dew, eat your heart out. Gaming is now sponsored by tallow and butter, so recognize.
Dude,
I
I'm
mean,
so ah. No, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was going to say, would this really be like a Bitcoin, like Twitter Spaces, if we didn't talk a little bit about like, you know, after sovereignty health, kind of ideas? So
Hey, I dived right in, man. You're the guest. You can say whatever you want.
I think I think for me, like kind of going off topic here, health is similar. Like, so after being in the quote unquote crypto, Bitcoin, blockchain space, you learn how much misinformation and how many bad actors there are chasing stuff, and then you start to wonder how many other industries are like this, right? And there's a lot of money in healthcare. There's a lot of money in like a lot various things, and you start to realize, dude, a lot if you really want to understand something, you got to put in the proof of work into understanding that field and that space. Sometimes I don't know if that's for all cases, right? Hopefully, you know markets being efficient can bring good stuff to the forefront without you having to do a ton of research, and maybe that's what we're seeing now with the current kind of, I would say, health trend, which is we're having enough people speak up and being listened to, and you know it's like no matter how much fiat you have now, you can't get rid of the signal now. uh maybe that's, I'm kind of stretching here, but maybe Bitcoin's fixing health.
I mean, it definitely can, but it's unfortunate that as I guess inflation goes up, the poverty line goes up. Ribeye isn't cheap, and there's very few people that can even afford like good food. So hopefully Bitcoin does fix this.
We all just need to be cattle ranchers and have farms with high
Right.
speed internet connections.
It's very true. It's very true. That's the one thing I think about one day wanting to get rid of my Bitcoin for is just having a big patch of grass to do things with. Speaking of gaming, it's just a game of Minecraft, really. That's what real life is. It's a mix of Sims and Minecraft, and we're here just hashing blocks and growing food and eating tallow.
And running away from ghosts.
Awesome. Well, Michael, man, we appreciate you joining your perspective, and we're excited to hear some of the announcements. It sounds like that are going to be at Tab.
Yeah, and if anyone here doesn't know what we're talking about when we talk about TabConf, it's tabconf.com. It is, in my opinion, one of the best conferences because it's community driven, and We don't, any money we make, we spend towards the conference. And we historically have just donated all the profits to various, builder groups and charities like Brink and HRF and OpenSats. So if you want to be part of something super organic, where it's very like, what's next, let's build something kind of focused, come to TabConf and look at the magic that we're putting on there. I see Asher. If you don't know who Asher is, make sure to give him a follow. He's in the audience right now. He's actually helping put on some of the day of activities and events during TabConf. So it's a lot of people putting their hands in. Voltage is obviously very, very much involved. So,
I want to echo that. Asher and his wife are both amazing and helping out a lot with Tab, and they're actually basically neighbors of mine here in Texas, and yeah, I really appreciate them a lot. But yeah, I guess that's it for me. I actually just thought of a funny idea, but Mike, I'll DM you that in a minute. But thanks for taking the time to talk with us. We'll post this up on YouTube here in a little bit, and we'll spread the word.
is the funny idea like inappropriate or something, or just
No? Long story short, it'd be cool to log into Zebedee on like the internet browser, like on my computer, and have the option to create my own LN withdrawal vouchers that I can give to people that are watching me on Twitch. That was my idea.
Oh, you mean like create a voucher?
Yeah, like just generate it, but
Can you no
yeah.
longer do that? Did we take away that feature?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll look again.
We used to have that feature, and you're kind of surprising me because now you're making me think we may have taken it away, because I haven't personally used it in a while. So I wonder if they decided to take that away. But we used to have that option, and I would.
Was it in the web or was it in the app?
It was in the app.
Oh, okay. Maybe I need to look there. Because like if I have 1,000 sats,
Yeah.
it would be cool to like make it 0 and then have like 10 100 sat vouchers.
Yeah.
That'd be
So
cool.
if you open the app and then like swipe left or however your UI is, where you go to like all the drop down settings, just click vouchers, and then you can create or redeem vouchers on that screen with no fees.
Gotcha. I was looking at the web thing. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yep, yep. But they pretty much, when they redeem it, they're obviously going to be using the Zebedee app.
Yeah, so if they scan it with just their camera app on their phone, will it take them to Zebedee then?
I don't know. That's a good question. I should
It
know these
should.
things, but
I'll experiment with it. I had no idea.
yeah, I want to say yes, but
Because that's
I'll
marketing. We need to do it.
I'll say yes because because I don't know, and I think that's how it works. I haven't used vouchers, like I said, in a while, so I would imagine the handouts that we give to people are just vouchers. So when you scan that QR code, it works. So you're pretty much
Right.
just producing what we're doing. So
I mean, at BitBlock Boom, people were. I mean, I finally understood like this whole NFC thing. So like, I'm kind of like having all these crazy ideas of putting these on stickers and stuff.
well, just remember that the wristbands that we give out at TabConf are NFC. If you want to do like a little like side hack project with people and be like, hey guys, I'm over here hacking the wristbands. Come over here if you want to mess with this. Like, feel free.
That's awesome. And honestly, I remember I'm having memories now of last year at TabConf. Like there was like this really cool scavenger hunt thing. You guys like it's just a ton of fun. So if you're listening to this and you are on the fence, it's a ton of fun.
Nate, if you go to my Twitter and look at the pinned tweet, highly consider watching that video. It's about 10-15 minutes long, but if you watch it at like 1.5 or 2, you'll get it done in like before you know it. It's worth the watch, I would say. And I'm obviously biased because I made the video, but
Okay.
it's a review of the scavenger hunt from last.
Sick.
If you were too
Okay.
busy at the conference to actually do it, yeah, it's cool if you like puzzles. If you like puzzles and like mysteries and stuff, you can see the secrets behind last year's Capture the Bitcoin challenge.
Oh, and TabConf is family friendly, so bring your kids, right?
Yeah, I mean, within reason. If you have like 12 kids and you don't know, like you can't like watch them all and you just want to like set them loose, like I don't know if that's a good idea, but
Right. I only said that because I talked to Ellie recently, and she said there was going to be like a special area for kids, reasonably aged.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on all the activities, but I do know there's going to be activities for like pretty much any age. Um, like I said, within reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to be teaching 2-year-olds Python. Let's go.
Yeah, we might not be doing that one, but maybe it's like you teach a 2-year-old, like how to effectively pick UTXOs from a UTXO set. Something more simple.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of 2-year-olds, I told my wife yesterday, I was like, I can't wait to make Bobby and our son a lightning address so that whenever he does chores around the house, he can like earn sats flow. So like you have no idea how much I'm looking forward to this.
Same.
Nice. All right, guys.
Hey, yeah, just to chime in on that. Yeah, so like Ellie and I are planning a couple events that are kid friendly. So we have a Bitcoin block assembly line going where kids basically physically assemble blocks, and it's a cool little puzzle we kind of designed with Silas, my son, and he's also going to be doing a couple lectures on like
That's
logic gates and stuff. Like the dude's insane. He's 8 years old, but he's like way beyond what I'm capable of so far.
Just to be clear, when you say the dude, you're talking about your son, right?
Yeah, the dude abides.
Dude, I love it. I love it. So this is what happens when you combine a mad scientist with also another mad scientist. They create children that are like super geniuses. Is that what you're saying, Asher?
Yeah, children of the corn.
Children of the coin. I love it.
all right. I'm out. Bobby, you can sign us off.
All right, guys. Stack sats, stay humble. We'll see everyone in Atlanta. Peace.